right, let's go out to Eden, Ohio. Let's talk to Dr. Marissa Hake. How you doing, Dr. Marissa Hake?
I'm doing great. How about you, Rob?
Is it cool to be a doctor?
It has its days. Some are good, some are bad.
You're a doctor, a veterinarian, right?
I am.
Okay, and how long have you been officially a veterinarian?
I have been licensed by the state of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio since 2015.
Is it
About
different?
6 years.
Different states have different licenses?
Yeah, they want to, everyone wants to get a penny or nickel or dime or whatever. So
I bet you $20 that I can tell you the most expensive state to get a license in is probably Illinois.
you think?
Yeah, we're pretty crooked. Honestly,
I think it's California.
well, it might be, but to get the bribe to pass the test in Illinois, it's going to cost you a lot.
We're going to start off political already.
Where is Eden, Ohio?
We are in the very, very northwest corner of Ohio. Like, you can't get any more northwest. I can see Indiana from our house, and we're about 5-10 miles from Michigan.
Okay, so what was the interest? Why did you get into animal medicine?
That's a good question. I actually just love working with stubborn old farmers, to be honest. It really, no, that is a bright part of my day. I do love working in agriculture and working with farmers. And it's fun to be able to work, obviously, with livestock, but also, I consider a really important role to provide a safe food supply to consumers out there.
Is that a stubborn old farmer behind you?
Yeah, that is our Uncle John there, and he is probably one of the most stubborn old farmers.
So, I mean, you grew up in this. You do know that farmers are, stubborn and old. That pretty much covers about 90% of them.
Yeah, you gotta have some tough skin, and luckily they like it when you kind of give it back to them. So I joke around with Uncle John all day.
Okay, so you probably have farmers that have been dealing with veterinarians their entire life, and here comes you, a younger female. How do they handle that?
It depends on the day, but most of them are pretty open to having me on their farm. Graduating classes of veterinary medicine right now are 80% women. So if you haven't had a woman veterinarian on your farm, you probably will here real soon.
Why do you think that is? Why is the number so high? It's almost like it's completely flipped.
Because we're smarter than men.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can't hardly argue that, can I? You've been very good at social media, telling a story about agriculture, just basically showing what you're doing. Why'd you get involved in that?
I think it has a little bit to do with personality. We get bashed so much in agriculture. There's so much misinformation out there about how we raise our animals, and it felt good to be able to share a little bit of truth, I guess. And so that's kind of why I got started.
So what you're doing on a daily basis sometimes can be, a little rough to watch at times. I mean, you're doing surgeries, you're dealing with an animal that needs medical attention. How do you know what to show and what not to show?
That's a great question, and a line that I often toe between trying to be educational and also trying to make sure that I build trust with consumers, because those two can, be very disconnected at times. So, I try to think of things from a consumer lens most of the time, because farmers know, right? And I don't want to really preach to the choir if I don't have to.
You now have two angry old farmers behind you.
Oh, one of those is my husband.
Okay. Well, maybe he's just angry.
Yeah.
So is the whole family involved in beef production?
So the herd that you kind of see behind us, the white ones with black ears, my husband and I own those. But my husband is the 7th generation on this farm. So they started out, that's his uncle and his dad, and now him and his brother are the 4 owners of this farm. So we have 4 families that live off this farm. We cash crop, we have wean to finish hogs, and we have a lot of stocker backgrounder cattle as well.
You've been incredibly successful on your social media, showing like the story of agriculture. If people want to find you, where do they go?
I am on Facebook at CalfVet, and I'm on Instagram as @CalfVet_.
Yeah, I love your videos, and I know a lot of people too. Do you know if there's a lot of non-ag people that follow you?
Yeah, I think I do have quite a big non-ag following. People are curious about how their food is raised. They're curious about veterinary medicine, and so I think I have a lot of those followers.
I'm tempted to just keep talking because I got to figure that the angry old people behind you will just get angry.
Yeah, we're trying to get these cows in off pasture, and I'm sure that I'm not helping.
Okay, so let's see. We'll just keep asking questions. What's the name of your first boyfriend?
David McMahon.
Are you following him on Facebook?
I don't think he has Facebook.
Okay, good enough. Well, Dr. Marissa Hake, thank you so much for what you do. Really appreciate it. You're doing a fantastic job on social media. Please keep it up. And everybody go follow her. Dr. Marissa Hake, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for spending some time with us here on SharkFarmer TV. For more stories about people in agriculture, catch my shows on Rural Radio Channel 147 Sirius XM. There's more in-depth discussions on my podcast, and of course, you can check out previous episodes of this show on my YouTube channel. Find out more at sharkfarmer.com.